Okay, 7 o'clock. So this is a regular meeting of the Council of the Village of Salmo to be held in council chambers at 423 Davies Avenue, Salmo, BC, on Tuesday, May 27, 2025 at 7 p.m. On traditional lands acknowledgement statement, we acknowledge and respect the Indigenous peoples within whose traditional lands we are meeting today. Call the meeting to order. First, we'll do the adoption of the agenda. The agenda of the regular meeting of 10/25, Tuesday, May 27, 2025, be adopted as amended from Council Procedure Bylaw number 663/2024, Schedule B, to include a new business section, bylaw development and review section, public question period, and an in-camera section.
Move.
All in favor?
In favor.
Carried. Okay, delegations. So we have.
Hello. Thanks, you guys, for squeezing me in here. I don't have too much to add to what I don't know if you guys had a chance to read what I forwarded.
Can I just interrupt, please? Can I have the delegation come forward? I really apologize that I'm not there, but I'm flying out of Kelowna at 6 o'clock tomorrow morning, so I'm in Vernon right now. So thank you for being in camera. Thank you very much.
No worries. Yeah, so I'm assuming you guys had a chance to read over it. If you didn't, it's just really kind of just letting you know all the successes that we have had so far this year, mostly with programming and numbers. I think what I would add to that is thanks to, I did put it in on the bottom here for me, but I don't think you guys got this. So I applied for support through the BC Library Trustees Association, as well as the Association of British Columbia Library Directors, and was successful in getting to be one of 3 libraries in the province that we get to be part of a succession planning. So basically they're going to be helping develop a program and protocol that they can then give out to other libraries. So we're the only small library that they picked, and then there's a middle-sized and a larger library. So it's going to be a little bit intensive. I've got actually 4 board members who are keen to take part, and myself. We will be doing 3 one-hour sessions plus stuff we have to do after that to kind of put together. It'll help us plan for both our board succession as well as staff succession, whether that be an emergency from an injury or a planned exit of staff, which is probably what's going to happen with the Salmo Library in the next 3 years. We're probably going to see a full staff turnover at some point here. So we're just sort of planning, thinking ahead like that. That may trickle, it may change. These are not set in stone, but it's being ready for that to happen and not being blindsided, because I'm sure, as you guys know, in so many small communities, it's become really challenging to get in that position. It's hard to recruit people. It's hard to get people from out of town with the education. So it's more about thinking about who is in our community, and if we're ahead of that, then maybe we can work with keeping that here within the community and hiring somebody here for whatever those positions are that come up. So that's not really what I sent you guys. So that's kind of an exciting thing to share. And then the other thing that's not on here that I would love to share is thanks to the increase that we received, as well as just shuffling numbers and budget attempts, we finally, after forever, the staff have benefits. So
That's great.
which is kind of part of the succession planning process, making the job sellable. Yeah. So that's kind of what we're looking at. Yeah. Do you guys have any comments or asks about what I sent you or what I just said? Or
Yeah, go ahead, Mayor.
Thank you. I just want to say thank you so much for bringing this delegation forward and showing the successes that the library does for our community. I hear lots of positive stuff always about our library, and you are a stellar librarian, and we truly appreciate you. So thank you.
thank you for that. Yeah, I love my job. No,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, agreed. Yeah, shows.
Yeah, I think the succession planning, that's just such a awesome opportunity and a great grant that you were able to to get. So I think that's going to be so useful over the next few years and going forward. And yeah, everything the library does, we all appreciate, and the community really benefits from everything you guys do.
No, yeah, I just want to echo everything. The work you guys do is phenomenal, so congratulations. And we do definitely appreciate your validation because you do bring it forward a lot. You keep the same form.
Yeah, I want you guys to know that we value being aligned with the village and with where you guys are wanting to go in direction for the village, and just showing that we value the support that we get. The other thing I'm going to add, especially Mayor Lockwood, because you're on the RDCK, I forgot about this, you're on the RDCK board. All of the library directors in the regional district of Central Kootenay, we are working together right now to hopefully put a delegation forward to the regional district board and come, because we're feeling we can do like this within our villages and within our communities themselves, in the city of Nelson and Creston, but it's really hard for us to understand the process with the regional district. I know it's a much bigger body and there's a lot more going on there, but so we're hoping if we come as a bigger body, then those discuss sort of.
The only thing I can say to that is everybody works in basically their own silos, right?
Yeah.
So, because it's Salmo and REG that support the Salmo library, and Nelson and E, or not E, F, and some of H, and so everybody. So when it comes to a regional thing, it ends up being a service to the regional district. So I think it's a good idea that you guys do that, because because I always say that libraries benefit everybody. It doesn't matter where you live, the top of a mountain or the bottom of a hill. I think it benefits everybody in some way. So I really am looking forward to when you guys come.
Yeah, okay. Well, that's it from the library.
Okay, well, thank you very much.
No,
Thank you so much.
that's not.
Ready to go.
Adoption of the minutes. Minutes of regular council meeting of 08/25, Tuesday, April 22nd, 2025, adopted as presented. Any errors or omissions? We'll start with you, Mayor.
I'm good.
Okay, seeing nothing, all in favor? Carried. Okay, the minutes of regular council meeting 09/25 of Tuesday, May 13th, 2025, be adopted as presented.
So moved.
A second.
Any errors or omissions? Nothing, Mayor? Not seeing that, all in favor? Carried. Okay, no referrals from delegations, 7 referrals from prior meetings, village event 2 vendor survey. So we'll turn it over to the CAO. If he's got a few words.
Yeah, okay, so we last meeting was just directed to create a survey for the food vendors. The idea just being to determine the level of satisfaction on the event itself, and then how it ties in, of course, with our nonprofit fundraising. The survey that you guys have in front of you is just regarding some of the conversation that was happened in between council, just as far as the questions and some of the paragraphs up front to provide a little bit more context. So if there's any other questions or any other, responses that council is looking for, we can definitely add or change this survey. So that's, I guess, where we're at right now, is just seeing if this is an acceptable draft, and if not, then I can take it back to the next meeting to look at this. Just as far as some of the context in conversations we were having about the integrity of the survey, there's always going to be questions with a survey, even if it is not anonymous. Typically, when we do surveys or municipalities do, they're on multiple platforms. So you may have an instance like this where you would have an ability to write down somebody's contact information, but say something on Survey Monkey would be tied to an IP address. So, which it can go around. It's just something to be taken into context as far as just the data that you receive is more just for trending analysis. It's not the be all end all. As far as trying to drive decisions off of one outlet, but this was part of probably a larger part of the plan to engage in some sort of public relations in regards to this. So that's where I'll leave it. If there's any other suggestions or questions or I guess issues with this, we can definitely look at it. So.
Okay, Mayor Lockwood, do you have any comments or questions?
I'm gonna refer to the table right now because I have a few questions or comments, but I would like to hear what everyone else feels.
Councilor.
I know just in the emails kind of mentioned the whole, the nonprofits, that they're traditionally the ones who have been providing this food to the context of the community, which is on there. It might be beneficial just to mention that in the past, the nonprofits have only been the ones able to sell food, and then that money is just making a little bit more of the backstory of the importance of the role of the nonprofit and their fundraising for going back into the community. But other than that, that was the only thing that stood out to me.
Okay, thank you.
Well, my concerns fall more in the amount of time we're putting into this. It was supposed to be like a no time, no, and our CAO says myself, I have spent over 80 hours on the food vendor conversation, which is more than double of what I've spent on the OCP. So I really wonder, I mean, this is getting crazy. We have things that are mandated to be done this year, and we're spending 80 hours on this survey that really is, I mean, is it going to go anywhere in the end? So.
Okay, for myself, I find the survey is vague enough. The questions seem to hit where they're supposed to. My biggest concern is exactly what the email said, CAO, and what Councillor just said. The timeline to get this survey and the data in for July 1st is absolutely unrealistic at this point, in my opinion. I do think we need to do this, but I would like to propose a motion to the table that we do not allow food trucks July 1st this year, but it comes back after July 1st, so council has some time to discuss it and actually work through it, because you're right, we have OCP, we have other pressing business to do, and we're wasting a crazy amount of time on this. But obviously, it means something to the community, so it's something that should happen.
Thank you. Can I speak, Chair?
Yeah.
Thank you. And I just want to say, I appreciate everybody's thoughtful comments around the table on this. And I feel that we really need to understand the gaps in our community that the nonprofits do fulfill. And I appreciate that we are going to take more time on this to be able to maybe have a committee of the whole to have a conversation with the community that is a little bit more wholesome in finding out what the community needs and wants. So I appreciate that, and I will second your motion, Councillor Heatley, Chair Heatley.
Thank you, Mayor.
I mean, I'm aware there's a look on the, can I ask a question while there's table for me look? My concern would be if, well, just to clarify, if the KP concession building, like, is that able to be used this year? Is that something that is gonna meet health and safety requirements for the nonprofits to use this year?
So, from my understanding, each year that the nonprofit groups apply to Interior Health for that inspection themselves. We don't do that as an annual basis. That's something that's handled externally. As far as the condition of the building itself, I guess from my understanding in years past, when there was inclement weather and the building was leaking a bit, the Lions were able to move outside to fundraise. So I don't know as far as the context of this conversation, as far as the closing the building, that is something I have put out to tender this morning for our building inspections for our asset management plan. It's for all the buildings. It's not specifically for that one. If there is a different timeline that council would like to entertain, by all means. Up until this point, it's, I guess, from my perspective, just my background in buildings, I would probably lean towards it not being habitable, but in the same breath, I am looking at options as far as waivers or what have you for the nonprofits if they are still quote unquote hell bent on using the building, that they would, we would create some sort of liability waiver. But I am hoping that I can talk with one of our building inspectors with the regional district to see if they can provide just a blanket statement, of course, not going through everything because they won't be able to provide us a real report, but just something that they can almost in their professional opinion and say, yeah, no, this is okay, or no, don't let anybody else in here. Up until then, my qualifications aren't good enough to make that call. As much as I feel that it's probably not in usable shape, just how important it is to the community, I don't want to make that call unilaterally. So.
Oh, Mayor, go ahead.
Thank you. Through the chair, I just want to reassure council that I can tell you that when the Lions uses it, the Lions actually has insurance. We pay for insurance ourselves. When the food bank uses our equipment at Shambhala time, they fill up all of the freezers and the fridges for as much as they possibly can hold. I don't know if the food bank has insurance. And for the farmers market, they fall under the village's insurance for using the park. So I'm not sure if they have an extra insurance. I do not believe so. I believe that's why they moved to KP Park, is to fall under our insurance. And anybody else that uses the concession, as when they've had something happen where I'll use the Elder Day that's coming up on June the 13th. It's under the Salmo Community Services. They would have their insurance, but when the Lions are actually serving the food, we still are covered under an insurance. And that's just for clarification for council.
If I may, Mayor Lockwood, so would it be prudent for the council to ask the CEO to reach out to the Lions to see if they've actually had the health and safety inspection? I do understand what you're saying is you have your own insurance, so that liability is not on the village, so I do understand.
I can tell you that that the application has gone into IHA for July 1st. It takes so long for them to approve it because I believe it's 12 pages or something like that. And then they send back a permit saying whether you can or you can't, because you have to give entire how you're washing dishes, how you're washing, the whole entire thing. So on July 1st, we have other nonprofits that sell food that possibly don't go through the same thing. And so, or maybe I can say that I know that they don't go through the same thing and don't have that same type of a permit. So I'm not sure if it's a permit, the actual permit that council is wanting to be able to use the building, if to say that IHA has approved it, by all means that the Lions could produce that. If we get approved, we don't know until IHA says yes or no.
Okay, thank you, Mayor. And I'd just like to reiterate, I do agree with you that it's not just the Lions that has to follow these rules, and it's not me being facetious against the Lions. I just understand the structure of the building and the condition of the building, and that was my concern serving through the public. It doesn't go on deaf ears that if people are washing their hands and they're serving food in the public, it's still just as bad. So I do hope that all other vendors are coming forward with their inspections and are legal.
Yeah. I just, when we talk about leaky roofs, and this is, and I apologize because I don't want to belabor this, that, you know, we own a curling rink and it's had a leaky roof and we haven't gone through this. We own a youth center that we put $80,000 into a leaky roof. We own a village office that we had a leaky roof. I have a video of it raining inside as much as it was raining outside. So that's all I'm saying is that roofs can be fixed, and I'm not saying that the building is not ready to be retired, but we are never going to be in there in an unsafe manner. But I do understand.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. Anything else from council before we vote on my motion?
Just so that we're making a motion for July 1st itself. The food truck thing came to us initially from the farmers market. So do we make a decision towards that as well? Initially, it came to us because the farmers market was asking to have food trucks.
I believe the farmers market was separate though from all the special events.
Yes.
So that we can still allow them, as my understanding, and this is a whole thing.
That's the way I see it.
So I can see those.
I'm just wondering, because we haven't decided on the farmers market yet either. They're probably waiting. They're starting, June now, so wondering.
Yeah, well, I think, I guess, yeah, my understanding with this whole conversation was just to do with July 1st. The farmers market was already basically approved under their previous applications. Like, I don't think they have to act separately for their vendors.
I know we separated them. I didn't remember making a decision. Maybe I was here.
I'll look into that. Yeah, my understanding is that they're already good to go for the market. As part of their application. It's just the July 1st was, but I will confirm for sure.
Anything else, Mayor? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm just having a hard time hearing people. So first of all, Angela, you can't speak until public time. Sorry about that. But I'm having a hard time. So when you guys turn your head, I can't hear you. So if I can just ask that if you guys speak towards the camera.
Yeah.
And am I understanding that the farmers market is allowed to have the food trucks? That's what has already been passed or gone through, or because
Yeah, my understanding that was part of their original application that they're allowed to do that. Again, I will have to look into this, but I was actually under the thought already that for the Thursdays they were already approved under their application, and then this conversation was strictly tied to July 1st. But I'm going to confirm that.
Yeah, because I would think that because it's in a bylaw that they're not allowed to be in town, so I would have thought that there would have had to been a motion to proceed the bylaw. So that would be great if you could look into that. Thanks.
Okay, anything else before we vote? Okay, we'll call the vote that July 1st will not allow food trucks this year, and this be brought back to council at an appropriate time in the fall.
So then just, I guess, to deny the participation of food trucks within Canada Day.
So yeah, that would be the entire weekend.
Within Salmo days then, if that's easier, yeah. And further that I bring back the survey.
Yeah, the survey and the bylaw, but it can come back in the fall. I don't think we need to rush it.
Okay,
The survey should go.
okay.
So
Is it possible to do a COTW? Have that so we can get this good because
survey you're meaning there?
sorry?
Instead of the survey? Survey?
It might be an opportunity to have feedback from the community, and then we may not have to do the survey,
Okay.
but they may say, yes, do a survey.
Councillor Neal.
I think a survey would get a more wide variety of people's opinions. A lot of people who might actually not come out to a meeting, but would like to fill out a quick survey and participate. I think that's important.
Okay, Councillor Lentz.
Just for clarity's sake, Mayor, may I just check, are the Lions going to be open the whole weekend in the concession or just Canada Day?
No, always the whole weekend.
Okay, just so we don't shut down the weekend.
Motion. Yeah. Oh, that's pretty official. I guess if it's privy to council, I can amend and add a COTW in the fall.
Yeah,
That'd be okay?
sorry.
That's okay?
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll continue on with the motion then that we will not allow food trucks for the weekend of the Salmo days. And then look at having a COTW on the food vendor
And survey.
celebration, I guess. Special events. Yeah. Okay.
And just for scheduling, is it a fair statement that we would do that? I guess, is council planning on doing a KP Park master plan, or I guess where would that be involved in this? Should this conversation be completely separated from that, or should this conversation maybe happen after that conversation? Just for scheduling, that's all.
I guess it really depends, if I may, Chair, depends on how much is done with the OCP, because the OCP should be able to direct a lot of our master plan with our parks if we're doing it wholesome. So, trying to do it together with the OCP is probably a better idea than trying to do food trucks at special events, because that just doesn't, it doesn't really have much to do with the master plan.
Thank you, Mary. That clarity is excellent. Okay, that's perfect. You want to quickly read what we got and we'll have a vote and move on?
Okay, to deny the participation of food trucks within Salmo Days for 2025, and further to look at booking a committee of the whole meeting for special events, or for mobile vendor participation at special events.
You know,
You've already, Councillor Heatley or Chair Heatley, you've already got me and you as the mayor. The motion's on the table.
all right,
Just
okay. Okay, so all in favor? Favor? So carried. Okay, thank you guys. Okay, the rates, bylaw development and review, fire department resignation and amendment bylaw. Sorry, 764/2025, fire department renovation amendment bylaw 764/2025 having had 3 readings be reconsidered and adopted. Councilor Lins, Councilor Neal, so there's no more discussion, all in favor? Carried. Village of Salmo Volunteer Fire Department Amendment Bylaw 766/2025. The village. Oh, sorry, my apologies. Thank you, Councilor Lins. The Fire Department Prevention Amendment Bylaw number 765/2025 had readings.
Nope.
Be reconsidered and
Seven.
adopted.
766.
No, that's next.
No, that's next. I just did 764.
Oh, oh my goodness. Sorry.
Yeah, no. Councilor Lins got it. Okay, so having had 3 readings. Councilor, all in favor? Carried. Okay, the Village of Salmo Volunteer Fire Department Amendment Bylaw 766/2025 having 3 readings be reconsidered and adopted. Councilor Lins,
Second.
Neal, all in favor? Carried. Two. Okay, Public Works, Council received for information the written report as presented by Public Works Foreman Fred Patton for the period of May 2025. Any questions, concerns, comments? Mayor Lockwood.
Thank you. Through the chair to staff, when I read this and I see that 2.1E completed the grading of all the dirt roads, and then I flip it over and it said scheduled upcoming grading of the alleys. What dirt roads other than at the park that we have dirt behind the park? And is that the only road that got graded, or are we, like, if we had the grader in town, we didn't do alleys at that point?
No, what it was is that, the idea was the main road that was done was the campground. And what, my understanding was with the time that it took for that road, just making the couple passes is that the alleys there wasn't time for and they had to come back and do them. So that was what it was, why they're split up.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
I'll move.
Councilor Neal.
Just wanted to add the KP Park, dugouts, the KP North. There was a couple wasp nests in one of them and it's got stung yesterday.
Okay.
So I didn't mention that, Public Works was there, but it might be good to check the other dugouts as well. Here.
Excellent, thank you. Councilor Lins. Nothing from me. Okay. Can I get a moving and
So
seconded?
Second.
So moved. All in favor? Favor, carried. Thank you. The council received information, a written report dated May 1st, 2025, provided by Fire Chief David Hearn for the period of April 2025. Any questions, concerns, comments? Nothing. Nothing. Councilor Neal moves.
Second.
Yeah. Councilor Lins seconds. All in favor? Carried. Thank you. Bylaw enforcement. Council received for information the written report of bylaw enforcement for the period of April 2025. Sir Neal. First, Mayor Lockwood. Second. All in favor? Carried. You. Administration, general updates. CAO accepts, or sorry, the council accepts the CAO report for information. CAO, if you have anything to speak for.
Just a couple things, for the, just updating some, the mayor, the public works foreman and I toured the Ochasina landfill, just in discussions about the future of, regional septage. I guess just something that is not on this report, just for, we are looking at, taking in some, septage from Chomalaw on a trial basis, just to ensure that our plant can handle it, and, looking at potentially taking on that as just a partnership. So we're just going down that road to see if we are systems capable, and in order to make sure that we're, I guess, getting what we need from that. Outside of that, yeah, just the event for World Wilderness Abuse Awareness Day. Sorry about that. So that's something good. We'll have another event in our park. And yeah, there's a grant application for Erie Creek Dike Work that's due in June. I'm working with the province and public works staff to figure out how to get a work plan so we can apply for a significant amount of money to work on that. So outside of that, there is actually another update tying to our fire truck purchase. That we have heard back from a contractor, just going back and forth. They have asked for an extension on the RFQ because of the work that needed to get done. Right now, the idea is that the quote was closed June 30th. They're asking for July 11th, which I have no problem with as far as just the conversation and how it's went. The fire chief and I are going back and forth a little bit on the build of the truck specifically, and the features that are changing some of the timelines for the contractors. So one of them is our foam pump system. That is somewhat of a unique piece to our apparatus that's only about 5 or 10% of the actual active fire trucks. And it does add a significant delivery time to our truck. So it's just making sure that we need that. And yeah, so the fire chief and I are going discussing, we'll be discussing a little more of that going forward. Outside of that.
Thank you, Councilor.
The partnership with Shambhala, this is a partnership they would pay us for this service, correct?
Correct, absolutely. Yeah, actually,
Clarify that.
yeah, we've worked with them. I haven't gotten a response. We have brought forward to them a potential price, but we haven't heard back from them one way or another. But from my understanding is that they are looking, to use us because we are significantly closer. They do have to haul it all the way up there. So yeah, but we'll see. Yeah, it's really just dealing with our wastewater treatment plant operator and making sure that our numbers and everything on that are okay before we take on more than one. So the actual plan is to take on a load tomorrow, and then see where it goes, and then maybe expand on it. So
Thank you. Councilor Williams. Mayor Lockley.
I just have, because you had brought up the fire truck, I just have a question. When you say about the foam apparatus, and it adds significant time, what does that mean? Are we looking at months time, or are we looking at weeks or years?
It works out to, for that foam system, it adds about, it's anywhere from 11 to 13 months onto the delivery, because they have to re-engineer the entire truck. So it goes from about a 25 or basically a 2-year window up to about a 30, anywhere from about 37 months is the top, 34 to 37.
Supplemental, Chair?
Yeah, go ahead, Mayor Lockley.
Thank you. So, CEO, is there, are you able to tell us do we need to have this type of a foam system that we're using, or is there a possibility that we can go with a different phone system that we can get in a quicker time?
I don't have that answer yet.
Okay.
I just talking with the fire chief, the fire department is, definitely leaning to the current phone system that we have, which does increase the delivery. But we haven't sat down yet as far as having a formal conversation about that. So that's just something that we're looking into, and we're just going a bit of back and forth right now between the contractors. So to be determined.
I would think that it would be a higher cost too, if that's the case. So thank you.
Councillor Neal, go ahead.
That was gonna be my question of how much cost of that specific phone.
About an extra $25,000. So the cost isn't so much as nor is the delivery time is probably the bigger consideration.
Anything from you, Councillor? Okay, nothing from myself, so we'll call the question. Yeah, mover and seconder. Thank you, Councillor. Councillor Lins. All in favor? Carried. Thank you. General update, staff recommendation that council accepts the CEO report for information. CEO. No, this is the different one.
Oh, the official community plan, that's the COP, sorry. Yeah, just to, sorry. Skipped over that page. Yes, the idea was that just with the community, official community plan being required to be completed this year, that we book a committee of the whole meeting to discuss this. So my recommendation would either be just based on previous COTW scheduling, we did it on Mondays, so it would be either next Monday or the Monday after. Yeah, just to discuss, just to maybe go through some of the finer points. So, okay. Thank you. Oh, sorry, Mayor Lockwood, go ahead.
Thank you. I'm just flying back from Ottawa on June the 2nd, so if the 9th works better, just before there's any discussion, I won't be back in Salmo for 7 o'clock yet. I'll probably get home about 9 on Monday. And in the recommendation, it says June 2nd, so that's just my...
And myself, if I may, I'm the exact opposite. The 2nd works for me, but the 9th will not.
So, by that rationale, we can kick it one more week, which would put it to the 16th.
I won't be back on days until the 23rd.
Okay,
I won't be.
so 23rd then?
Just let me... the 23rd is the Monday? Yeah.
Yes. Good.
Yeah.
I know this is crazy, but can we do it on a Friday? I get Fridays off. So we can do any Friday in the month of June, and I would have no issues.
But any day of the week, the scheduling is, I would leave up entirely to you guys. I'm indifferent.
And in the first 2, I won't be home the last 2 weeks.
Are you saying June the 6th?
Yeah, June the 6th would work for myself, yeah.
And is this is, you're talking a COTW about the official community plan that involves the public?
Yes.
I'm good with June the 6th on a Friday. I just don't know how much public that you will get on a Friday evening.
Okay.
I'm good with the Friday evening. We may have to do 2. We may not be able to do just the one. There might be some kind a round table or something, some different kind.
I guess just to see that I do agree with the mayor. We probably won't get this done in one public meeting. So I'm good with the 13th if that's good with everybody.
Mayor Lockwood, would the 13th work for you Friday?
Let me just look and see on the 13th. Yep.
Need a gavel. Oh,
June 3rd, 13th?
Friday the
at 7.
13th.
And is it going to be at 7 p.m.?
7 p.m. works for me.
Okay, so then I'll move that.
Okay, Mary Lockwood,
Second.
so Neil. Anything else? All in favor?
Yeah.
Carried. Thank you. Strategic plan, the council accepts the strategic plan for information.
So I apologize, this isn't in color. Just really a few updates regarding the little bit of notes, I guess, from the REACH grant that we've seen. We're progressing with the disaster relief floodplain review. We've met with the district. Same with the dike management project. I have met with the district on that a little bit, just to see if there's anything that they would like to partner with this grant application, but I don't think that they're part of that. Outside of that, we're looking to line up a contractor to test our water lines. We have somebody that is able to, from the understanding on the quote, is that they can test all of the town in about 5 days, and for a pretty reasonable price, ridiculously reasonable as far as I'm concerned. I can't get into it because it's in camera, but we are progressing through that as far as getting that work completed, as far as knowing what we're dealing with as far as water leaks, how many, and outside of that, yeah, just a little bit of update on information from the Heritage Mining Grant. Thank you, Chair Haley, for that. Yeah, outside of that, just slowly chipping away at things. If there's any specific questions, or
Mayor Lockwood, do you have anything?
No, I'm good, thank you.
Anything from the table? Okay. Thank you, CEO. Take a mover and seconder, please.
So move.
Mayor Lockwood, go second. All in favor? Carried, thank you. Financial reports. Accounts received for information, a list of accounts payable, checks, and electronic fund transfers from May 6, 2025 to May 22, 2025, totaling $120,229.21. Councilor Neal. Lockwood. Anything, discussions, questions? Not seeing any. All in favor? Carried. Thank you. Correspondence regarding council decision. 55 plus BC senior games. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
We missed the shoulder.
My apologies, guys. Sorry.
It's just on the
Oh, yeah, there we go. Okay, sorry, my apologies, guys. Council received for information, the treasurer's report, April 2025.
So move.
Then, or sorry, Councilor Neal, Mayor Lockwood. Any questions? Seeing none, all in favor? Carried, thank you. Again. So the 55 plus BC Senior Games Green Community Grant Request number 22. The council approves the $100 community grant request for the 55 plus BC Senior Games Zone 6 West Kootenay to assist seniors in attending the 2025 55 plus games held in Nanaimo, BC.
I'll move.
Oh, sorry, are you moving?
Yes.
Okay. Neil? Nothing else? All in favor?
In favor.
Perfect, carried. Thank you. Correspondence information nil. Member reports. Councilor Fox is not with us. Myself. I did attend the chamber meeting last night, and I do apologize. I didn't get my report in. Hours are crazy right now. I'm starting a new job. So I do have a couple of notes. I will be emailing Brandy, and I will CC everybody. But I'll just quickly go through them if that's okay. So the chamber has decided not to have any food vendors this year due to lack of members being available to do it. So they will not be doing beef on a bun or pulled pork or anything like that. They are requesting that they still have access to a table at KT Park so they can hold their raffle for a $500 prize. So if we can make some space for them to have a table with two people so they can do their draw. They do apologize, and they are planning on doing some work on their float this year, and they intend to have the float refurbished and in the parade this year. So that's kind of cool. I did ask about the mining exhibit again, because, you know, poke the bear. They're still waiting on signage to be delivered. But other than that, that's it for me. Yep. Councilor Lenz. Councilor Neal.
No, the library was here, so that I didn't include the librarian's report. So that's it for me.
Okay, thank you. Mayor Lockwood.
You guys have my report in front of you. I have nothing else. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any questions on any of the reports? None? Okay, I'll take a mover and a seconder.
All right.
Thank you, Neil. Councilor Lynn, second. All in favor? Favor carried. Thank you. Okay, we can do public question time. So I'll start with Karen because she's right here by herself. Karen? Nothing? Okay. So I'm going to go in chronological order on the computer screen. So we have Karen Knacken. Do you have any questions, concerns, comments?
No, I'm fine.
Karen. Claire, do you have any questions from the council? Not seeing any. Debbie, you're next up in line. Do you have any questions? Also not seeing any. So we're going to move to Angela. Go ahead, Angela.
Hi, can you hear me?
Hello. Yeah.
I just wanted to thank everyone for your decision tonight on a very trying issue that's been taking up an awful lot of your time and an awful lot of the CAO's time. We really do appreciate the effort. We don't want you to feel like it was in vain. You've spearheaded some very good conversations that will happen between now and this time next year, so that none of us have to go through this again. And it can be outlined as a fair thing and not just jump out of everybody out of the blue. And I really do think that for this year anyways, you've given us a little bit of reprieve and we're very appreciative of it. As far as the chamber needing some place to sell some tickets, they can do that under the beer garden. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Angela. I will definitely pass that along. And I do appreciate your comments. Thank you. Mayor Lockwood?
No,
Sorry, you're not.
not public.
Okay, so I want to thank everyone for attending online. I hope you can hear us reasonably well. Thank you, Karen, for being here in public. We are going to move the meeting into in camera, so we are going to close the meeting. Thank you, everyone.
You read it out, Councillor Heaton, right before people leave.
So the in-camera resolution that the meeting be closed to the public under Community Charter Sections 91I, the receipt of advice that is subject to solicitor-client privilege, including communications necessary for that purpose, and J, information that is prohibited or information that if it were presented in a document, would be prohibited from disclosure under Section 21 of the Freedom of Information and Protection of Privacy Act. Councilor Neal, Councilor Williams. All in favor?
In favor.
Carried.